Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Happy Saturday. Hi, Fedelin.
Hi, Sir Rico.
Hi. Good evening to you. How are you?
I am good. Yes, good evening to you and good morning to the rest of the people in this call.
And yes, I know it's a Saturday, and actually, it's a long weekend for a lot of our brothers and sisters who are Christians, because celebrating, of course, as they say, Holy Week. But nonetheless, it's a long weekend, and it's actually holiday here in the Philippines. But of course, it's Saturday evening, and we want to bring you something very important when it comes to our qualified traders program.
Looks like most of us are already here. We can go ahead and start and um, since everyone is most of us is here, let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start our good morning, good afternoon, and good evening greeting wherever you are in the world. Welcome, Opulence Nation, and all members and guests for today's call. Again, my name is Fedelin. I am a lifestyle advisor from the Philippines, and I'm super excited to have you here and thrilled about all the amazing conversation that we're going to have today. And of course, joining us on today's call is the Southeast Asia Business Development Manager at Opulence Global and a seasoned practitioner in the MLM industry with over 20 years of experience. Wow. As a driving force behind Opulence Global's expansion into new markets across Asia, he is responsible for the growth of the business in the Philippines and beyond. He works closely with the network of distributors in the region, providing support and guidance as they work to achieve their goals. His commitment to building strong relationships with his team and fellow business leaders has been instrumental in the success of Opulence Global. Today, he will be sharing the steps for us to become a master of this business, unlock our potential, and become part of the leading group of certified trainers. So let's all welcome our Southeast Asia Business Development Manager, Rico Kilao. Sir Rico,
Wow.
the call is yours.
Thank you so much. L.A. Fedelin de Dios, all the way from Davao City. You know what, Fedelin? I'm so proud of you. And of course, it's been an amazing thing to see you stepping up, taking up the challenge to become our qualified host and eventually our qualified presenter and eventually becoming a qualified trainer. And so far, you've been doing a wonderful, amazing job, Pedelin. It seems like you've been doing things for a long time already. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. And you know
Thank
what?
you,
This
sir.
is actually the topic that we're going to discuss today, how you can become better versions of yourselves. And I can see Mariam Adam saying, Kumusta ka? Thank you so much, Mariam, for that wonderful greeting in Filipino, in Tagalog. I'm not sure how you learned about this, but nonetheless, wow, it's so nice to see all of you here. And it's a Saturday evening here in the Philippines. We're taking a break of our usual topics from the qualified training program. Basically, Sherry and Shao are doing our Saturday live training. But for the meantime, um, this is one very important topic that we need to discuss because you have to understand uh, growing our business, the first thing that you need to do is to evolve, right? And this is what our CEO always says: if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And this is again one important thing that we need to master, particularly when it comes to our business, on how we can become good trainers, good presenters. Because imagine if you're only the ones doing the presentation and we're not training our team, right? So we need to not just you but as well as for all of your team to become a part of this program. And this is just to give you an overview of how you will be going from being a qualified host, being a qualified presenter, and a qualified trainer. And as we always say, just like the one that Brian mentioned in his previous training, it's about the metamorphosis. It's about getting better and better. And I do remember the first time that I did my presentation. It was not good. You don't have to be, as they say, you don't have to become great presenter for you to do your initial presentation. We all start somewhere, and for me, my first start as a presenter, it was not that good. Okay, and of course, we're just learning, of course, right? And what happened there was my boss during that time asked me to do a presentation in front of 150 people, and that was my first time. I vividly remember that. And when I was asked to do the company presentation, my hands and my mic were shaking. I was so nervous, and my tendency, whenever I'm nervous, is I tend to speak very fast. And so I did what I had to do. And so I did my 5 minute spiel. I did it in 3 minutes because I talked too fast. And after my talk, none of them clapped. Oh boy, none of them clapped. Mainly because I myself didn't understand what I said, right? But then again, I said to myself right after that, you know what? This shouldn't happen again. I wouldn't want for this to happen again. So what I did was I studied the topic, and I learned about it, become more prepared, practice and practice. And then after that, the second time that I was asked to do the presentation, it was better than the first. And then the third time was better than the second. The fourth time was better than the third, and so on and so forth, right? So right now we've been doing this for, as I've said, I've been doing this for the past 20 years. And right now, of course, when you do something repeatedly and you practice it each and every single day, what happens? You get better and better, and you get better and better. And this is exactly what we want to share with you today on how you can become better in presenting and training your team. Okay, so welcome to all of you who just joined in. So let me just share with you my screen. And by the way, if you have any questions as we go along this topic or this discussion, please feel free to put it in our Q&A box, because our objective for this call is for you to become more confident, to have that high level of belief and conviction that you can do it, right? And for you to become a better host, a better presenter, a better trainer, you need to, of course, immerse. No, so because even if you hear all of these trainings over and over again, if you're not taking that action, if you're not taking that first step, then it doesn't make sense. Right? So we need to get better and better and better each and every time, and take that action. And that's the reason why we encourage you to become a part of this program, so that you can get better. It has also been a topic of our CEO to become a professional, right? We want to become professional network builders. We don't just want to become an amateur, because, as you know, amateur just gets the lesser pay, right? But when you become a pro, you get the higher pay, right? And of course, that's what we want to become. And if you want to build a massive organization and a massive business, you need to master the art of this program of becoming a qualified host, a qualified presenter, and a qualified trainer. And we basically have a program for you for that. Okay, so this is one way to encourage you to become a part of this process, so that you can, become more confident, and you can acquire that knowledge, you can acquire that skills, in order for you to grow your business. Okay, so let's first start with the first step in order for you to become a qualified trainer is the first step is to become a qualified host. Now, being a qualified host, this is something like your immersion. This is something like your first step. Okay, so basically there are certain guidelines that we will discuss here, but nonetheless, this is actually something like you want to get started with, okay, to become more confident with, because as you become a part of the different calls that we have here in Opulence Global, then you become more and more familiar with all the information that is being shared in our calls, and of course you acquire more knowledge, and having that more knowledge will give you more confidence, And you just have to take the first step, just like what Fedeline has done here in this call, right? She took the first step, she took the challenge, and right now I can see that she's getting better and better. Okay, so this is designed to develop our rising stars, our new partners and potential leaders into the habits of presenting the business opportunity and host the corporate calls monthly. So as I've said, this plays an important part, particularly in our calls, because being a host, you're actually a representative of the company. Okay, so you are part of that program wherein we do these training calls each and every single day to educate, to inform, and to give knowledge to our partners. And as a host, you are actually the ones creating the mood because you're the ones starting the call. You're the ones greeting the partners. You're the ones setting the tone. So the host plays an important role in the calls that we do each and every single week. Okay, so it is very important as a host to be excited, okay, to be professional, to be courteous, and to be enthusiastic. All right. So as I said to Fedelin, when we were doing the training before her hosting, I said to her, just be excited. Just be enthusiastic. Always wear that smile. Okay, because your smile is contagious. Some people may be joining in, having a bad mood, having a bad day, but whenever they see your energy, whenever they see your smile, you actually influence them. Okay, you create an impact to them. Okay, so it's also important to dress professionally because people are sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, they are very subjective. Just by looking at you, they will know immediately, will they listen to you or not. Just by how you look, how you dress, how you portray yourself in the calls. Sometimes even in live tours, right? It is very important for you to dress professionally because people are very judgmental. All right, so they respect you when they see that you are well dressed. All right, so you need to do that. You need to do that. Be dress professionally, and also be a product of the product. This is very, very important because you won't have that level of belief and conviction in what you're sharing to people during the calls if you don't believe in the products, okay, in our products. And our products are so good, okay, so might as well use it, and have that level of belief and conviction. And then another thing is utilize your virtual background or a banner. So just like what I'm using right now, we basically have that in our back office as well. You can download it, and it's very easy to do. Actually, you just need to familiarize yourself with the Zoom functions, and you can basically use this background to make it more professional. And of course, you already have that advertising and representation whenever you're doing your calls. And then another one is host the call in a quiet setting with stable internet. So it is also important to try this out, especially before doing the calls. Um, you need to have that quiet setting, no distractions, no dogs, no kids, and make sure that you are in a room just like what I'm doing today. I'm actually in my office, and no distractions so that you can proceed smoothly with the call, and make sure that is no interruption with kids or pets as mentioned. And then you share the excitement of the cities and countries, recognize those who are up late or early, learn your time zones, and Pedelin did a wonderful job at the start of the call with regards to that. So basically, at the start of the call, it is the host's responsibility to make everyone welcome, to make everyone, uh, to enjoy the call. Okay, to enjoy the call. All right. So that's one of the things that you need to get started with at the start of the call. And then if you are unable to host a call, it is your responsibility to find a suitable replacement, and corporate must be advised prior to the call. So just like if you have something like an emergency, of course, times like that comes. So make sure that you are professional enough to prepare for that, to give time, particularly to the one who's organizing the schedule, and make sure that or better yet, you need to have someone replace you or cover you for that particular call. Okay, so this is just a host club overview, and this is very important as we get started with the call. So, as a host with Opulence Global, the duties that you need to host is particularly the corporate calls that we have, the one that we have on Monday, which is basically our product crossfire, together with, of course, our senior vice president, Inez Human, and our regulatory affairs, David O. So, that is part of our weekly corporate calls. And every Tuesday, our forensic networker call together, of course, with our founder and CEO, Ramin Mesgarlu, and of course our Saturday live training, um, which basically happens every Saturday morning in Toronto, in Canada, and of course for the other parts of the world, it's afternoon or it's evening. And basically on Saturdays we do our business training, and then on Sunday, usually this happens. I think it's the second Sunday of the month, right? So basically, we also have that once a month, together with our top leaders who will be sharing their inspiration and their stories, success stories during that call. So basically, these are the um, corporate calls that you need to host every week. Okay. And then of course, as a host, what you need to do is to promote these calls in our Facebook pages like the Opulence Global Nation, and as well as in our WhatsApp. So it's actually the responsibility of the host to share this and to promote all of these calls each and every single week. And just to give you an overview, we started this with a monthly hosting call, but because of the number of participants that are interested to do this hosting and to do this program, we decided to make it just for a 2 week, okay, 2 week hosting call. So for those of you who will be interested to participate in this hosting program, this will just be for a period of 2 weeks. Okay, so I think Fedelin is already on her first week, and she'll be resuming up until next week. And then, of course, we're gonna have a new host for the month, and watch out for that because we're gonna have one of our lifestyle director three from the Philippines who finally will become our host of the week, host of the month. Okay. All right. So anyway, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in our Q&A box. And by the way, if any of you or any of your team is already interested, I'll give you time to message us later after this call, or probably you could raise your hand or ask your questions so that we can put you in our calendar right here, right now. Okay? And some hosting tips for you. Number one, of course, mute yourself and turn off your camera as soon as you finish your speaking parts. Okay, so again, the host of the role of the host is to welcome all of our partners, know where they are tuning in from, acknowledge them, whether it's day or night, provide the energy, provide the smile, provide the enthusiasm, set the tone, set the mood, act professionally. So these are the first things that you need to do as a host. And then right after you do your introduction with our panelists, you can, of course, mute yourself and turn off your camera as soon as you finish your speaking parts. But it is very important to pay attention to the flow of the call. Now, this is one thing that benefits a lot of our hosts, because as they become a part of each of the calls every Monday, every Tuesday, every Saturday, and once a month every Sunday, then what happens is they get to acquire more and more knowledge because they need to pay attention to the flow of the call. It seems like you're forced to to learn, and this is a good thing, because with learning, as we always say, the more you learn, the more you earn, right? And so it's very important to pay attention, because once in a while, the panelists may ask you to do something, or may ask you for some of your thoughts or ideas during the call. So it's always good to pay attention as the call is ongoing. Okay, and always be prepared to be called upon. Okay. And then welcome and encourage attendees to write in the chat. Now that's very important as well, where they can also put their Q&A. Okay, so make sure that you are also looking at the Q&A as the call progresses, so that at the middle of the call, if someone wants to ask questions, then you can courteously interrupt and inform the panelists that there are questions that are coming in. Okay. And then keep their hands down and skip names you are not sure how to pronounce. Okay. Sometimes this is the difficult task of the host. Whenever there are names that are hard to pronounce, better not to mention them, or probably just mention their first name. All right. And then share the excitement and comments from the chat and keep the attendees engaged. Okay. So far, these are the some of the hosting tips and guidelines that you need to consider, and you need to know when you are hosting the calls. Okay. So again, this is very important. Before the call, you should have at least the basic knowledge on how to operate Zoom. I remember the first time when Opulence came to the Philippines, we were basically 100% face to face. We do not do online or Zoom calls. So when our SVP and our CEO and Danny came to us and told us that we need to learn how to use Zoom, how to use WhatsApp, and then we say, how do we do that? So, and then of course, because we need to also teach our people. So what I did was I take a look at Zoom. I opened an account. Actually, there's a free account in Zoom, by the way. But in here, as a host, you will be provided with your own personal access. Okay, so you'll be provided a username and a password. Wherein you will use that username and password to log in for each and every call. So what I did was I take a look at the different features in Zoom. Okay, what happens when I unmute the mic? What happens when I turn on the video? What happens when I click on the different settings? How do I put on my virtual background? How do I share my screen? So these are some of the things that you can also learn. And by the way, there's also a video on how to go through these different features, particularly when it comes to Zoom. Okay, so it's very, very important for us to be familiarized, to familiar ourselves with the different basic functions of Zoom, because sometimes this is the thing that you need to just do only, you need to learn only once, and then the next one it will be easy peasy, right? So don't be afraid of technology. Okay, because it will benefit you more and more. Okay, so there's also I would also encourage you to write your own script, to prepare your own script. When I was starting my hosting, when I was starting even my training today, I make sure that I prepare. So preparation is the key. Okay, so it's better for you to have that outline or that script that you can always go to. So as you will always be following the program, and of course you will not be out of topic. So that's very, very important that you have a script or an outline as you go through your hosting job. Okay, and then of course you read the bios of guest speakers. So this is provided to our host each and every call. We provide you with the list of our panelists and our speakers, their bios, their intros. Now, edification is very important, so make sure that you edify them well, and not for anything, but it's very, very important to also mention their titles, their ranks. If you are talking about corporate team, they have their own titles, right? So do not just call them Ramin or Sanas. Not for anything, but edification is very important. Imagine if there are new guests on the call and we are just referring to in their first name. We don't give them their credibility, their credentials. So we want them to be edified, mainly because we want people to immediately listen, respect them, and we want guests to say that this is someone that I should listen to because he is someone already in the company, right? So edification is for the benefit of your own business. So make sure that we edify and read well the bios of our presenters, speakers, and trainers. Okay, so it's also since you will be provided with this initially, it's also important for you to rehearse that, okay, to read that, okay, And because sometimes what happens is when you read it just the first time, you tend to stutter, you tend to, you don't know how to read it properly. So it's very important. Again, practice makes perfect, right? And then, of course, we also provide you with the announcement each and every call, all the promotions, all of the upcoming calls. So this is also provided to you. So this is where you should learn how to share the screen. Okay, share the screen. So very, very important. So that's basically what you need to prepare before the call, yeah, each and every corporate call. And then again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in our Q&A box. And then when it comes to the execution, again, very important, initial preparation, you log in 15 minutes earlier and start on time. Okay, start on time. So why do we need to log in 15 minutes earlier? Because sometimes there might be some technical issues or something will come up, and this happens a lot. Okay, I tell you, this happens a lot. So it's very important that even before the call, you try to put in already the username, your login, your password, so that by the time that you are about to start the call, you see that there are no more what do you call it, challenges. Okay, particularly, especially when it comes to Zoom. Okay, and then you review the bios and host script. If it's your first call, log in 30 minutes earlier to sort out any possible technical issues. Okay, and then by the start of the call, when you are already online, make sure that you record the calls. But with our corporate calls, it is automatically recorded once you log in. Okay, but just to make sure, check if you have that red button as the call is proceeding. And then you welcome the audience and read locations of attendees. And at the end of the call, thank the special speaker. Okay. Sometimes what we do is also we get some takeaways. Okay, just to summarize all of the important information, all of the important learnings that was discussed during the call. And then on top of that, you read the announcement, promote the next events, and encourage guests to try the products and launch their business. If you are hosting, let's say, by the way, this is hosting is not just for corporate calls, although when you are doing our program, we certify you based on the corporate calls. But hosting can also be done when you are doing your live tours. Okay, so this is also very important. Okay, so that's also some of the things that you need to do: be excited, be enthusiastic, and of course, you're the ones who is creating the mood, setting the tone each and every call, each and every meeting. Okay, so this is a sample script that you can get started with, but this one is particularly used for the tour. Okay, so welcome Opulence Nation and all our valued guests. My name is Rico Kilao, and I have the honor to be your host tonight. Let me introduce you to our dynamic speaker who will inspire you to experience our revolutionary product lines and consider launching as a brand partner like we have. I launched my Opulence shop sometime in 2019. And if I have to use just one word on how this business has impacted my life, that word is freedom. I would love to tell you all about my story, but I am sure you are excited to get all the details about our e-commerce business model. And help me welcome our first speaker for today, none other than our founder and CEO, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlu. So you read the bio and everything. So notice as we do our hosting, as we read the bios, did you notice anything on how I delivered it? It was delivered with a smile. It was delivered with energy. It was delivered with excitement. Right? So again, you're setting the tone, setting the mood for each and every call, right? So imagine if I'm doing this. Welcome, Opulence Nation, and all our valued guests. My name is Rico Kilao, and I have the honor to be your host tonight. Wow. Do you think your guest will be inspired and motivated to listen to you? All right. So, again, as we always say, in this business, it is 90% attitude and excitement, and only 10% knowledge and skills, right? Skills, right? So, be very, very enthusiastic, be very energetic. Okay. And That's one of the tips that we can give you as a host, and of course that's the script. And then if you're doing a tour, after the tour, prompt guests to ask questions and say, wow, 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 I have seen this tour so many times and it's still hard to digest everything that it has to offer. This is why earlier I chose the word freedom to describe Opulence Global. Our valued guest, it is time to ask your questions, or perhaps you are ready to become a part of our community as a brand partner. Okay, so that's another script. But also, I would encourage you to create your own script, something that you are comfortable to deliver, something that you are comfortable to read as you are doing the hosting or doing the tours or the calls. Okay, and then again, part of the tour in closing the sale by offering choices. Either way, the person who invited you to this call has some recommendations on how to launch your Opulence global business and which products you should start with. Okay. And then talk about our VIP rewards program. So this is also very important because, again, provide them options on how they can get started. And the first thing that they can get started is by becoming a product of the product, right? To try the products. And we basically have that kind of program. We call it the VIP rewards. So you can say, if you want the protection of the Safe Home Revolution products for your family, you can become a VIP shopper today for free. So take advantage of our rewards program, start earning free Opulence points with your purchase, as well as 10% rebate in shopping credits when you refer your family and friends to our online shop. So these are just sample scripts that you can use if you are hosting a tour, especially right now that we are now doing a lot of live tours, home meetings, and this script you can use this script in closing the event or the tour. Okay. So after the tour, share events, business news and updates, and then of course, if there are any exciting promotions, build assist promotion that is ongoing, make sure that you are aware of it. Make sure that you are taking advantage of that opportunity to use that build assist promotion or uh, those exciting announcements when it comes to your business. Okay. So far, Fedelin, do we have any questions? Because I do not see any questions in my screen right now.
Well, yeah, Shauna, she asked about if a partner get a second round of hosting.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. You know what? That's one thing that, because since you're already a qualified host, and if you want to take part again as a host, then by all means, absolutely, absolutely. You can send us a message. You can send us a WhatsApp indicating that you want to become another host. If you are truly enjoying it, why not? Why not, right? So, Shona, very good, Shona. Love to
Yeah.
have you again as our host. But another thing there is, once you become certified as a host, then the next step is for you to become a qualified presenter, right? So being a qualified presenter, not just you are doing the hosting thing, but now you are becoming to to become involved, particularly when it comes to the product presentation, the business presentation, and of course doing the live tours. Okay, so right now, because we did this during the pandemic, and we basically have an online tour before, but when it comes to your but when it comes to being a qualified presenter, what we can do today is that we can have some of our certified presenters do their certification for you, especially if you're doing already a live tour, okay, or face-to-face meetings, okay. So closing words before you, by the way, before you end the tour, you say invite guests. You invite guests to connect with us on social media. Very important. That's part of the Opulence commandments. And say thank you all partners and guests tonight, and looking forward to see you all in Opulence Nation's family Facebook page this week, where we welcome home all of our brand new partners. Okay. So do you know that? We have that Opulence Global Nation where we welcome all of our new partners. Now, again, recognition is very important, especially when it comes to your new partners, because it reinforces that they made the right decision. So that's the reason why You can see some of my posts in the Opulence Global Nation, because I know that, again, people work the business mainly for two things, as what our SVP says: it's money and recognition. Okay, so the moment that they become a part of the family, let us welcome them. Very, very important. Recognize them and reinforce that they made the right decision. Okay. And if you decide to launch your own Opulence business tonight, this tour happens 5 nights a week, or probably you could just say the next tour or the next event that is happening in your area, so that they would already know what's next. Okay, what's next? Okay, so very, very important. And I'm sure the Opulence brand partner who referred you is expecting your feedback, so don't forget to contact them right after this call. So bye for now, all the way from Manila. Thank you, and see you all on the next call. Okay, so that is sample script that you can also use whenever you are doing or hosting a tour. Okay. All right. So that's about it for our qualified host. And right now, as mentioned, we strongly encourage all of our partners, especially the ones that are here, and we also want to encourage you to encourage your team, your partners, to become a part of this program, because as I mentioned earlier, we want your team to become better and better. We want your team to gain that level of confidence, to have more confidence in talking to people. And this is a great program for you to be immersed on, wherein you will be able to become a part of a program wherein there is already a system in place, right? Like what we have discussed today so far, and someone will mentor you, particularly for now. I'm doing the coaching, particularly to our host, just like what I did with Fedelin today. So that's the reason why we do not just assign it to you and then you are on your own. Okay. Um, we also do our orientation. We do also our coaching so that you can become a qualified host. Of course, sharing with you all of the guidelines and some of the tips uh, for you to become a qualified host for this program. Okay. All right. So moving forward, let's talk about the qualified presenter program. So the qualified presenter is designed to help partners practice and develop new skills to present products, host calls, and conduct business presentations successfully. Okay. So for some people, this is something that they are not comfortable in doing. And as we always say, if you want to build a massive organization, learn how to become uncomfortable. Okay? Learn how to become uncomfortable. And particularly with this, initially when our SVP came here to do the product presentation, it was entirely a different presentation for us. And my thoughts on that was, if I will not learn how to do this, how can my team learn about the business, learn about the products? How can my team duplicate what I'm doing, right? So very, very important is you do your own presentations, okay? And we basically have a program for that. Imagine if you are able to encourage your team to become qualified hosts, qualified presenters, and qualified trainers. Imagine having 100 people in your team doing their own presentations, doing their own trainings. How big your business will be, right? So that's very, very important, right? So as we always say, monkey see, monkey do. People don't follow what you say, they follow what you do. Okay? So take up the challenge, become a qualified presenter. Now, we have this program before, wherein if you do our monthly tour, no, weekly tour as a qualified presenter, then you can get certified. And as I've mentioned earlier, we can have this qualified presenter certification done by, of course, our certified presenters and trainers in your local markets. Okay. All right. So a certified QP. So imagine being a certified QP will apply for spots on the corporate calendar in the back office. Again, we used to do this during the pandemic times, but most of the people now are going through the live tours, live presentations. Okay. All right. And then moving forward, of course, the QT program, Qualified Trainer Program. Now, the Qualified Trainer Program is designed to develop leaders and presenters to become trainers globally. So, once you have been certified as a presenter and continue to grow your organization, you can qualify to become a qualified trainer. So, what are the requirements for you to become a qualified trainer? Be at least a lifestyle director one and above. Also, you must have been a host for 1 month, but right now 2 weeks. We have already become flexible with that. 2 weeks, you can become a qualified host already, and you also must be a qualified presenter. And qualified trainers will be badged and paid. And probably you have already seen some of our posters when it comes to our qualified trainers, and they were also recognized during our Night of the Stars last month, right? This month, right? Right? Yeah, this month. Okay, so that's one of the things that we also do as a part of our recognition to our qualified trainers. So basically, as a qualified trainer, we give you 6 topics that you can get started with. And these 6 topics, we will give you the slides, we will give you the training materials. But also, one of the things that you can do is to watch this. We basically have a lot of videos coming from our qualified trainers who did these 6 topics. Okay, so for 6 weeks, as a qualified trainer, to be certified as a qualified trainer, the 6 topics that you need to train on is number one, the next 30 days and the opulence commandments. That's number one. And the next would be the retail sales. Okay, we also have a training for that as well. And then another one is the compensation plan 101, at least the basics of our compensation plan. Fast track to 5 figures. Okay, that's number four. Number five is deep dive on the variance bonus. And then, of course, number six is what we are discussing today, which is basically the qualified trainer program. Okay, so one of the benefits that I got about from being a qualified trainer is that you are again forced to learn all of these things. We need to become better in all of the training topics that we have. So once you are going through the qualified training, then the good thing is that you get to learn more and more. Okay, you get to learn more and more because you need to study it. And we have a saying: by teaching, you will learn, and by learning, you will teach. Right. So this is a great way for you to learn more about the different topics when it comes to our business, the different training materials. And basically, the purpose of this is for you to become more knowledgeable so that you can also equip and train your team. And then also encourage them and find people who can become also trainers for your team. As I've said earlier, imagine if you have 100 people who are doing their trainings, right? So imagine that how big of a business will that bring you? Okay. And the good thing about being a qualified trainer is that there are certain incentives also. Okay, there are certain incentives when you become a qualified trainer. So corporate events will be paid events. So especially if you're doing the Monday product crossfire, when you're doing the forensic networker training, as well as the Saturday live training. If you are doing this already as a certified or qualified trainer, then you will already make some money. All right. If you are a cutie, you will receive opulence currency. Wow. Our CEO just talked about this last Tuesday evening during our forensic, how important this opulence currency is for our business. And if you are a cutie, you will earn $40 per hour in OC, in opulence currency, for training. Okay. For example, if you do the Monday product training, that's $40. Okay, $40 for our Monday product crossfire. And if you're doing the Saturday training, that's $40 as well. Okay. And leaders make $75 in Opulence currency for training. Like, for instance, if you're doing the leadership cocktail, if you're the one sharing and inspiring and doing the training for the leadership cocktail, that's $75 in Opulence currency. And of course, being a forensic networker training, this of course needs more training before you can become qualified to be trained to be a trainer for the forensic networker. That's $100 Opulence currency. Wow. All right. So as mentioned earlier, we have five weekly corporate tours. We have four. No, no, sorry. We don't have weekly corporate tours anymore. We only have four weekly corporate trainings every week. Okay. So not certified trainers can click and do the event, but they won't get paid until they are certified. So again, this is only for the qualified trainers who has already undergone the certification and has already been certified. Okay. All right, so that's about it for now. Basically, we would like to open the floor. If any one of you are interested, or anyone in your team would be interested to become a part of this program, we would encourage you to right now. Uh, if you are inclined, or if you are interested or willing to start it right now, just say yes. Say yes, and of course, uh, we can have you scheduled or lined up in our qualified trainers program. Okay. So, do we have any questions so far, Fedeline?
Let me check. So far, we don't, but we have people who were uh, w- making comments about the topic that we have. I personally have my own story to share about hosting and this topic that we have today. So, I kind of like came across with what Daria said. She said that it's a great experience to become a host. And I can say now that it is. I can agree to her with that. um, and so you mentioned about it's like more on you are forced to learn, and I was forced to host. I said no several times already when Sir Rico asked me to do it. I doubted myself. I kept telling him I'm not sure I can do it. I really am not confident that I can. Because if you know me, like in a personal level, I don't speak this way. I speak so slow in our dialect. I have a very slow pacing when I speak. So that's always like, that's my, one of my, I'd say, one of the things that I consider that I'm not really proud of it. You know what I mean? So when you ask me to like host, do a live hosting, or even the Zoom meeting kind of hosting, I always say I don't think I can do it. I'm not ready yet. But then one day Sariko just said Daria is going to end her hosting this week. It's going to be you next. So it's like you're forced to do it. And I'm here now. But actually I'm happy how things turned out, because I'm getting like messages from people and you telling me that I'm actually doing a good job and it's a wonderful kind of hosting I'm doing. So it kind of boosts my confidence in doing more, and showing that I can. And I started it and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. And I'm happy and I'm very grateful for the compliments that you guys are giving. I'm really thankful, and I hope to become better, and I'm looking forward to hosting more events and being better for those future events
And
soon.
Fedeline, I would just like to ask you, because I know we have been asking you for quite a while to become part of this program, becoming a host. And initially, you said like it's not yet time, something like that. But finally, I think everything fall into place. With all the things that you shared with me, and right now you are a part of it. My question for you is, how did it boost your confidence when you were already starting, doing the hosting, and before, because before you said like, you're not yet ready, right? But here you are with all these wonderful compliments that I can see from our chat box. How did it help you? How did it boost your confidence?
I think it started on the first hosting event that I did. It was also a Saturday training. And so when it happened, like instantly, like I was getting compliments from you and from our partners, I said to myself, you know what? It's not really that bad. I mean, I thought it was hard, but it wasn't that hard. And you're right. You just have, or I just have to be prepared. And preparation means that you have to make sure that you read all the things that you need to learn or to study, and then be on time or earlier, and then work out on things that you think that you lack. Like if like with speaking, if you don't speak fast enough, then speak fast or practice speaking fast. And so I did that. I tried, to read and read faster. And then funny enough, because I tried to record myself when I did that, and then I listened to it and I say, it's garbage. Okay, I'll do it again. It's
Yes.
garbage. I'll do it again. Uh, you know, faster and faster each time. And so I'm just very concerned when I speak this way. If I like, if on your side, I still sound very slow, which I'm really working hard to not be. But yeah, I'm pretty sure one day I'll overcome it and I'll be like the natural speaking pace that I should be. I don't think that I'm still on that yet, but I'll probably be into the right
Well,
pace.
Fedelin, let me say to you that you have evolved a lot from the first time, before you do the hosting, and you have undergone at least the basic training on how to do the hosting. And now I have seen that you have evolved a lot. And you are a perfect example of what we always say: if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And I know that you have prepared for this. So, these are the skills that you can gain from being a part of this program. And on top of that, imagine, I love what you said. Actually, Shauna also mentioned here as a recommendation to practice. You can set up a meeting with yourself as a practice, record your self session. I know that you did that as well, Fedeline, just like what you mentioned. Then watch yourself. It's a great way to see how you present. Now, this is very, very important. You know why? Because you never see yourself whenever you talk to a prospect, right? Whenever you talk to someone. And sometimes you wonder why she didn't get excited with what I'm sharing with them. And it's probably the way we communicate with them. People say it's not what you say, but it's how you say it, right? so yeah, I've seen a lot of evolution from you. I know that you speak so mild, so gentle, so slow. It's just who you are, but there's always room for improvement, right? So I can see a lot of comments also coming in, suggestions. And Larry is saying here, your speaking is precise and clear. Wow, wow. So those are the comments coming from our chat box. So
Thank you.
excited to
And
start. So Shauna is also saying, so excited to start the QT program. Where do we find the form? I'm looking under the business tools, but do not see it. Excited. Okay, so we're going to check on that as well. And anyway, we have already noted, if it's not available in your back office, we'll have it sent to you directly, Shauna. And of course, we're going to check with the head office as to the status of this as well. Okay. All right. So
I actually,
mhm.
sorry, I think I saw Rene raised his hand.
Sure, sure,
So,
sure. Of course.
yeah. Hi, Renee. Welcome to the call. Uh, let let's
Yes,
unmute
hello.
him. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Of course,
LD4
Rico.
Rene Liao. Where are you now?
Hello, Sir Asian GM Rico. Of course, hello, our host of the month, Fedolin. I just wanted to chime in here and share, Fedolin, from the time that I was in the Philippines on March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, till today, I don't recognize you anymore. I don't recognize you anymore because the first time I met you, I remember it was in Davao. I got into the hotel, I think it was. You came in and you had these beautiful, nice little, I guess, T-shirts that you had made for myself and Rico. Again, thank you for those amazing T-shirts. I still have them here in Toronto. And yeah, you're very shy, and today it's like you're a whole new person. I don't even recognize you. In fact, when I came back from Asia and I hopped on one of the training calls, I saw your face as a host. I was like, wow. I had no idea that you're actually doing the hosting of the month. And I just wanted to come on here and just commend you and praise you for stepping up. I can already see that level of confidence in you just shining and beaming. And personally, for me, I think that if you're concerned with talking slowly, that's actually a very good problem to have because my problem when I first started hosting and talking was I talk too fast and I'm always trying to slow myself down. So I think it's actually a better thing to be a slower speaker than a fast talking speaker because everyone understands you and it's actually a really good thing. So I just wanted to come on here, encourage you, and just say a great job, Rico, for pushing Fedolin just to get past that line of hosting again. Fedolin, amazing job hosting. Cannot wait to see you as a qualified presenter and of course a qualified trainer. So thank you, and back to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lifestyle Director for Rene Liao. And he has been actually a much of an inspiration to me. I remember when we were starting here in the Philippines. Oh, well, of course, by the time that the training from SVP Senas and from CEO Ramin, when they already went back to Canada, of course, I cannot remember them all, right? I have my notes, I review them, but I need more information. And one of the things that I have seen is, the videos of our lifestyle director for Rene Liao, and I learned a lot from that. And I tend to imitate and duplicate what he's doing in the video. So that's the thing. If you want to become a great host, a great presenter, a great trainer, you should be very good also in copying. Okay. Because after all, this business is about duplication and copying the best practices of people who already succeeded in this business. And I would encourage each and everyone here today, just do it. Okay, just do it, don't overthink it. And you know from the day one, it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. Day two, you get better and better. Day three, getting better and better. Each and every single day, you can become better and better. But you cannot become better if you're not going to take that first step. Okay. And people here will mentor you, will coach you, will encourage you. Okay, so don't don't overthink it. Just do it. Just do it. Say yes. Say yes. Take that first step. Okay. All right. Any other questions here? Let me just check here. All right. So I think we have already covered all of the questions here. And all right. So more to that, because I just want to share before we wrap up this call is, of course, when you do your hosting, where you do your certification with a qualified trainer, the first thing that you're going to acquire is, of course, knowledge. Knowledge. So when you acquire that knowledge, you will have that higher level of confidence. Okay, because sometimes the thing why we lack confidence is because we do not have enough knowledge. Okay, to train, to present, and of course to coach and mentor our team, right? But if you have that education and that level of knowledge, at least the basic things, then you will be more confident in doing your presentation and doing your training. Okay. All right. So, any other questions or anyone who would like to share, or anyone who will say yes right now? I want to become a host. I want to become a qualified presenter, a qualified trainer. Come on, guys. I'm challenging you. And for those of you who would rise up to the challenge, please do send me a message either on WhatsApp or an email. Email is easy. Rico@opulence.com. So Rico@opulence.com. You can send me a message and say that you are interested, whether you want to start as a host, and then of course as a host, qualified presenter, and qualified trainer. Okay. Okay. Anyone else who would like to share? All right. So we have Brian. All right. We have also Brian here, our lifestyle director too from Canada. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Rico. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing exceptionally well, thanks. And I want to say what a great training and congratulations to Pedalin on doing an amazing job. It's interesting because we're always our worst critic. And so sometimes we sort of, make up our own stories as to, why we're not succeeding or why we're not doing particularly well. But I do want to commend her for, taking that, stepping out and obviously making herself comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's what's going to give her that chance to really grow. And so the one thing I would love to say is that I know that we're always looking at, how many LD1s, how many LD2s, how many LD3s, and how many LD4s are in our team. But I think one of the key things we need to start looking at is how many qualified trainers, how many qualified hosts, how many qualified presenters are in our team, because we know that, as you said, as your team starts to grow, and now you're seeing all those presentations and all those trainings and all that knowledge that's being filtered down amongst all of our organization, we know that we're setting up a proper structure for support and for growth of our organization. And so, if you have a bunch of LD1s, LD2s, and LD3s and no trainers, then you're setting yourself up for some very, very difficult times. And so I would love to see everyone start talking about how many QTs are in their team, how many QPs are in their team, because we know that we have the structure to make sure that they have the support, the guidance, and the knowledge that we need to be filtering amongst our organization to make sure that that growth is stable and that it's from an educated perspective rather than an uneducated perspective. So again, I want to encourage everyone to get out there, put your name on the list, get yourself sort of in the queue and get certified, because that's going to be what you need to do to make sure that you're giving the proper knowledge and guidance to your people. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, lifestyle director to Brian Arindel. Actually, very, very important what he shared. Actually, I remember when I was in a training camp, that's one of the things that was asked during the training. The strength of your team depends on the number of people who are doing the set of activities that needs to grow your business. And what are the basic set of activities? These are the presentation and the trainings, right? So, and of course, remember, our business is built on duplication. And Brian hit it right at the dot. How many people in your team are capable or are doing the presentations? How many people in your team are capable and doing the trainings, right? If you examine your genealogy or your organization and you take a look how many are doing their own presentations, how many are doing their own trainings, and you find none. Now that's a big problem, because it means that you're the only ones doing training, you're the only ones doing the presentation in your team, and that's not a good indication of how strong your organization is, right? So this is the reason why we are encouraging, and it's a good thing that we have a program like this, because this will allow you to become better presenters, this will allow you to become better trainers. Okay, so thank you so much, Brian, for what you have shared. All right, any other who wants to share? All right, so we also have our lifestyle director 3, Miss Jocelyn Aquino. Hello, Jocelyn. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Just got home. Actually, I'm in front of our house right now. So, I remember the first month I'm in Opulence Global. I'm just LA then, and then every time we have our Wednesday forensic call, I really want to share something. Raise my hand. I don't know, Sariko, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I always I always want to be heard. And then last year I want to share this with you in our cruise, Asian cruise last year. And then I told our Ramin, how Ramin, how can I make it big here in Opulence? And you know what he said? Become a qualified trainer. And that you know that's the only word, that's the only thing he said. But yeah, up to now it's really stuck in my head, and I think it's really the right timing to
Yes.
become one of the qualified trainers.
Yes, absolutely, Jocelyn. And looking forward to having you as our next qualified host. Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Finally, rising up to the challenge of becoming our qualified host. Imagine LD3, Jocelyn Aquino. All right. So all the way from the Philippines, and you know, sometimes, probably, okay, just want to share this as well, because sometimes we think like, I cannot be like Rene, I cannot be like Brian, I cannot be like of course, SVP Senas. You don't have to be like them. Remember, we are created uniquely, right? You have your own different style, you have your own different approach and everything, right? So you don't need to compare yourself with other great presenters or trainers. We want to be like them. We can be inspired by them, right? We can be inspired by them. But you don't have to be perfect in order for you to do this. But you need to understand, as what LD3 Jocelyn said, you need to become better in doing your presentations, and you need to become better in doing your trainings in your own way. You can do that. Okay. So this is an encouragement to each and everyone. Okay.
All right. And that's about it. Good night, everyone. It's 11, past 11 in the evening here in the Philippines. Good afternoon to the rest of the world, and good morning to the rest of other members that we have who joined us on this call. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and to the billion. See you
To
again
the
on the next
billion. And
call.
by the way, before we wrap up, it's almost month end. Make sure that you take advantage of all the exciting promotions that we have. Our car bonus, our MGRS, and of course our March Madness promotion, as well as the Divine 8 promotion. So make sure you take advantage of that. May you have a happy and a blessed weekend to each and everyone, and to the billion.